Good afternoon. Today is May 4th, May the 4th, 2020. Today you will be able to identify and convert customary units of length by completing Pathplaces lessons and Kahoot challenges. So we talked before about the customary units of measure, which are a unit of measure that the United States and two other countries use for measurement. All other countries have adopted the metric system as their standard measurement. The customary measurement system has a separate conversion for weight, length, and liquids. This is why most countries use the metric system. It is only one conversion to learn. Here in America, we use metric and customary. For the units of length, which we're focusing on today, inch, feet, yards, mile. So this is a copy of the reference sheet that is included in your STAR test booklet. We also use them in class. You should be familiar with seeing this. Here it has the different customary and metric units of length, volume, capacity, weight, and mass, and then time is down here. Well, today we're just focusing on the customary system. So for 1 mile is equal to 1,760 yards. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. 1 foot is equal to 12 inches.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it. We know we can always put 12 inches inside a foot, and 1 yard just won't be complete if it does not contain 3 feet.
1 inch is what you got if you're looking at the top of a bottle of pop. On your thumb is about 1 inch from your knuckle to your fingertip.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it.
The length of the folder where your work is put measures out to just 1 foot.
You'll find a foot if you look at the height of the parrot on my hook. Yard. A football field has 100 marks. Each one is a yard apart.
At the plate with a softball bat, a yard is about what you're looking at.
Open your fingers a pinch and make an inch. Then make your hands look just like a foot. Put them 3 times as far and make a yard. Now we know how long they are.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it.
Okay, so that was a video talking about the different ways that you might see inches, yards, and feet. So here we have some real life examples. A yard is the width, so meaning that's going across, of an average door is about 1 yard. A foot is a standard ruler, so we've all seen a ruler like this. The inch is the width of a quarter. Also in the video it said that it's about as far as your thumb, the tip of your thumb to your knuckle joint there. And then a mile, it takes you about 20 minutes to walk a mile. We use miles to measure longer distances, like when you're on the highway or you're driving, you would measure that in miles. Yards, you would think about a football field. Feet, going from one side of the room to another, or how wide is your desk, or in the video it showed an example of a folder. An inch, you're looking at smaller parts, things to measure. How long is a phone? How long is a pencil? Things like that you could use inches to measure. So we're going to look at a few things of how to convert. Here we have some conversions. So it's like how many dimes make up a dollar bill? How many quarters make up a dollar? How many seconds doesn't make up an hour. We're converting from one length or one form to another. So we can go from inches to feet, from feet to yards, from inches or feet into yards, from feet to miles, from yards to miles, you know. And the smallest unit being inches, the largest unit being a mile. So for every 1 foot, there's 12 inches. For every 1 yard, it's 3 feet. For every 3 feet is a yard, or 36 inches is a yard as well. For every 1 mile is 5,280 feet. And for 1 mile, you can measure that in 1,760 yards. So here, we want to convert. And down here, we have our conversion table, just as a reminder for you. How many feet are in 2 yards? So if I'm going from feet to yards, well, first I need to see how many feet make up 1 yard. So for 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. Well, I have 2 yards. So for every 1 yard, and I'm going to use the abbreviation, is equal to 3 feet. So now when I'm looking at this, I want to be able to say, okay, so I know for 2 yards, we want to know how many feet does that equal. So we're going to multiply. 2 yards times 3 gives me 6 feet. All right. Our next question, how many inches are in feet? So I know I'm going to go to inches to feet. So there's 12 inches in 1 foot. And I'm looking for 6 feet. So I'm just going to multiply 12 inches per each foot times 6 feet. And that gives me 72 inches. Our next one, how many yards are in 2 miles? So again, I go to my conversion. And remember that you don't have to memorize it. It's good to memorize it, but when we're working in class, when you're taking your STAR test, you will have your reference sheet there with you. How many yards are in 2 miles? Well, I'm going to go to yards and miles. So for 1 mile is 1,760 yards. Well, I have 2 miles. So I'm going to need to multiply 1,760 times the 2 miles. And let's see what we have here. 0 times 2 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. Regroup my 1. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 more is 15. I put a 2 there. That's a 0. Excuse me. Sorry. And then 1 times, regroup my 1. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. So there's 3,520 yards in 2 miles. And then our last question, how many feet in 6 miles? So we would do the same things. For feet, there's 5,280. Feet in 1 mile, and I have 6 miles. So I'm just going to multiply. 0 times 6 is 0. 8 times 6 is 48. 4. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 more is 16. My 1. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 1 more is 31. 31,680 feet. You do have Kahoot activities to complete and Path Blazers lessons to watch. If you have any questions, please let me know.